see a student will consider, yes, my friend is using this, yeah, I have to use it because, yeah, when you use it, boy, you have, you become sub in class, and they will tend to use these drugs. After using them, all the outcome will be like they'll be expelled out of school, which will deteriorate their own future developments and also their educational career, as it is that education is the key to success, and then it creates all these kind of problems. Just briefly, in short, while like the health aspect also is very, very bad, because you will see it will also damage the systems of the defending system. Just the white blood cells will all be affected, and the lungs. Without breath, no one will survive. So it will affect the lungs. I see no reason why people get into using these drugs.
Yes.
Yeah, and Yasin, I think he really gave us a detailed explanation, as to what exactly illicit drugs are and some of their consequences, when it comes to the life of that particular individual and the community, I can say. But Yasin, I believe there is a problem, and then that is peer pressure. Most people are influenced by their peers, to go into drugs. Some people are also influenced by their peers to go around selling drugs and doing a lot of things. But one thing that we as activists came to realize is that most people really are not aware as to what exactly the consequences of drugs. I think they were talking about the health aspect, so I'll just like Babukar to also give us an insight, as to some of the social effects that drug has, when it comes to the life of a particular individual. Of course, you did spoke about, the tarnishment of that person's reputation, but I believe that it goes beyond that. So maybe you'll just like to touch a little on that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, when you come to the social aspect of it, you will see that also, despite tarnishing the image of the individual, the most thing people look in life is peace and stability. It will also hinder the peace and stability of the community, because one thing is like, if drug is found in this certain place, the whole place is like affected, because even the people living there are suffering of discrimination outside. The notions of black people is always existing.
Exactly,
people like discriminating, and then you will see all these things happen outside. And then also, now with the drug, law enforcement agencies coming up with certain laws of seizing properties is also not something like it affects only the person, but also the whole family. You will see that that's a social issue. When a father is having a compound, your son is caught with these illicit drugs, how do you see it that the person is not only affected, but the whole compound will be seized? That is also a very bad effect. Yeah, vehicles and everything, all that, where the father has struggled a long way to get all those properties together. I see it as a very bad thing, that it is not anyway favorable to the whole society itself. Talking less about an individual person.
Okay, and Baji, according to my researches in 2010, we had like 332 cases of cannabis sativa. It's really crazy in the Gambia here, because it has grown. That's why it has become so rampant and popular within our young folks. Looking at the young people smoke more of cannabis than the other drugs like heroin and others. Heroin and others were, brought here by mostly foreigners.
Yeah, they were.
So I would like to ask Mr. Sidifo, what is the way forward? What are the things that could be done in order to eradicate the phenomenon of drug abuse? Because some people engage in drugs because of peer influence, some people because of imitation.
And not because of fast money.
Exactly, because they believe they can have fast money, take their parents to Mecca or do certain things for them. But what is the way forward? How can we end this phenomenon within our youths? Because youths are the future leaders.
Thank you very much once again, Yasin. As we know, that youths are the cream of the society, and then they are the future leaders. To work together and then to put hands on deck to eradicate this issue of illicit drugs, we need to work together. Like I read one case, like they said, youths that are much vulnerable to this is when they are like growing from youthhood to adulthood. That's the time they will experience much of these things. So, as a good parent, you have a role to play. Like, call your son or your daughter, talk to him or her, and then tell him or her about these issues of illicit drugs, and then tell them the bad effects of these illicit drugs. And then you have to make sure that they should not be pressurized because of this peer pressure. Or if you notice that, what I advise for you to do, try and then remove him or her from that area and then take him or her to another place whereby there will be no peer pressure. Number two, schools need to work together because youths spend a lot of time in school. And then there is a case we said that most of these youths will experience this, the usage of illicit drugs in schools. So, as a teacher or as a principal or headmaster, you have a role to play whereby you're going to organize symposium, drama programs. You make sure you talk to the youths, tell them that, look, these are issues that are fake. If you are lucky to put yourself in it, my God, that's the end of you. And then also the government need to play a very big role. With the government, with the Gambia government coming with this like Operation No to Drug, zero tolerance, yes, on drug
Zero
issues.
tolerance to drug and corruption.
Yes, it is welcoming. And then they come again with this issue like whenever you are caught with this drug case, you will have like a sentence to death life, something like that.
That's very good.
Yeah, I believe those are the issues which will like discourage people not to go in for drug, because if you see and then you know that this thing is affecting, it will affect me if I use it. You have to ask yourself in the first place, why should I go for? In the reality, those who produce this thing, they never use it. They don't know it. So they produce because they want to be profit oriented. So we are the most vulnerable because we use it and then it is affecting us. So we need to like organize more symposium. The government need to work in hand with youth organizations and then let them organize symposium, let them organize drama competition, quiz, and then let them educate the youth so that they can know more about this.
I think that is very much important because most people find it very boring, sitting down and listening to PowerPoint presentations. But if you inculcate, education and entertainment together, people will be very much enlightened to know about what exactly is happening. And yes, and one thing that I just want us to draw our mind back to is, I think over the years we have seen a lot of death cases, people stabbing each other. In fact, we have seen people killing their own parents. I think the last time we saw a case on the national television that somebody burnt his mother to death, which I believe is of course as a result of the repercussions of drug abuse, which I believe are really very much important, because I really find it very much difficult to understand somebody killing the person who carried you in her womb for 9 months, someone who has breastfed you. Come on, Yasin, the soul should always be appeased when it comes to issues, especially that has to do with the parents.
Thank you very much, Baji. Thank you. That was really good. So now I would like to draw our attention to a very important guest that we have on the studio today. We have someone who is indeed a survivor, somebody who was directly engaged with drug abuse, but like he happened to be somebody so clean-hearted that at the end of the day he happened to get out of the problem of drug abuse, and finally he is our survivor today. He's no other person but...
Yasin, before you go to him, remember this is a reality TV show. We bring people who are survivors to come here and talk to us so that you out there who is watching will learn from their mistakes.
We have Lamin Al-Hassan. We will invite you to come here and talk to us about how you became a survivor and how are you, able to sit here today and talk to us. So we would just like to say a very big thank you to Mr. Babukar for being here. Thank you very much. We welcome you back, viewers, and we have here our survivor who's been directly engaged with drugs but finally got out of it because he was, a very strong man, a man who was dedicated before he got into drugs and everything. And now he's here to talk about what drug is. And of course we have Mr. Abdul from the Youth Crime Watch, who's here also to talk about youth and illicit drug abuse, because they had a workshop on youth and illicit drug abuse. Therefore, they can be better agents of change. That's why we brought them here. So we will first start off with Mr. Hassan. Can you please tell us what got you into?
Yeah, good evening, viewers. I really thank God for such an opportunity. Because the real reason why I'm here, because I don't want young people to go into what I have been through. Because the truth is, I would say the possibility for one to get out of some of these things is very slim. Okay, my name is